following documentary will investigate how one writes a movie through editing.
What makes a movie is the editing.
There is an age-old saying in Hollywood that a movie is written 3 times. One while the actual process of scripting, second while shooting, and third while editing. But it is during the edit that the movie is actually really made. Let's find out how.
By the time I've thought of an idea, written it, found the financing, cast the film, directed it, I get to the cutting room and it's like I've washed up on shore. Because I'm so happy to be there, because then I think, now we can start making the film.
The word genre comes from the French word meaning kind or type. Before it was applied to film, genre played an important role in literary theory. It wasn't until 1910, when Hollywood's film production began to outpace the demand, that genres became important to differentiate films. This differentiation marks the rise of cinema. Although genre filmmaking took place all over the world, it was Hollywood that exploited it the most. Bordwell says, genre is grouping of films by period or country, by directors or stars or producers or writers or studio, by technical progress, by cycle of film, by style, by ideology, by venue, by purpose, by audience, and by subject or theme. Current genres go through phases or cycles of popularity. Genres need to be studied as a historical phenomenon. A popular focus in film studies, for instance, has been the evolution of conventions within a genre. This fact is evident since the birth of cinema, when filmmakers and innovators would devolve upon each other's work to create the language of cinema as we know. Gradually, silent movie genre was formed, which underwent change with the emergence of talkies, following up with film noir, French new wave, crime drama, romance, and so on. Each of these genres and the editing conventions would be influenced by the preceding genres, sometimes becoming dormant for a period rather than disappearing. Notice how Pearl Harbor and Avatar have difference in sound, color correction, have similar shots for these scenes. And while one is a live-action movie, the other one's animated. Avatar is a science fiction movie, but Pearl Harbor is a war film. These changes in genre conventions and editing styles are affected by 2 major factors. One is a technological change and the other one's a cultural change.
All art is technology. That's the very nature of it. The artist is always bumping against that technology. And the advent of, whether it's a new color of blue, whether it's a proscenium arch, whatever it is, it changes the way we work in that art form.
What?
Edgar White does this beautifully by mixing different genres in his films, be it comedy, suspense, action, or drama, all in one scene at times.
I don't believe this.
Using different editing conventions like fast cutting, perfectly timed sound effects, framing, and shot sequence.
When one official is prepared to comment, religious groups are calling it Judgment Day. There's
as an increasing number of reports of
serious attacks on
people who are literally being
eaten alive.
Grindhouse by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino is a deliberate attempt by the 2 directors to recreate the experience of a double feature in a sleazy B-house. The movie was shot in digital with modern editing methods to recreate a look of the 70s B-grade movies, like scratches and blemishes in the print and frames and exaggerated special effects. Michael Hassanovicius made The Artist homage to the silent era in 2011. The movie again uses modern cameras and editing methods to give a look and feel of how silent movies were once made. So, is it possible to mold a scene in different genres using the same shots by modern editing tools? To investigate this, I have devised a simple scene of a guy cooking breakfast. This scene was then modified using different sounds, changing the shot sequence, color correction, and parallel action to edit in different genres. First and foremost thing about silent cinema is that it were black and white due to the lack of technological innovations in camera and editing during that time. This was done to convey a feeling of quickness and to express a better emotion from the character. The quickness and slowness of projection was connected with the tempo of the music. Orchestra music was used to give a better effect to the whole film. The old movies in silent cinema were recorded in slow motion and then edited with fast motion. Texts were used as transitions and to make the viewer understand the movie a little better.
I heard you on the wireless back in 52, lying awake intently tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through.
MTV style of editing evolved from a number of influences, Russian montage being the most important. It was also influenced by early experimental movies like Arsène Andalou and L'Arche d'Or. French New Wave cinema brings this existential point of view by getting rid of continuity. MTV style, as Richard Lester says, is about feelings. It's about anarchy, energy and creativity. It's about replacing one main action by a multi-layer story, by changing time and space. Jump cuts are used over match cuts. The traditional is replaced with non-traditional. Linear story to non-linear stories. And personality of editing style becomes more important than continuity. Music is key as it dictates the story by means of feelings and emotions, and pace is central while making the cut. All suspense movies have one thing in common.
Honestly, have you ever seen anything like this? No.
They play with the audience's expectation and imagination without giving them immediate confirmation. They are given more and more subtle clues to increase the intensity, and editing is used to create that anticipation. The duration and order of shots give plenty of room for editors to bring the audience to the edge of their seats. Rhythm editing is used to create tension as rhythm is always predictable and audiences start to expect what is going to happen. As the rhythm increases in tempo, the audience understands that something big is about to happen. Parallel editing along with rhythm editing is used to enhance this effect. Cutting between shots for different events suggests that they both are linked and will collide at some point. A shock cut is used to heighten the impact. A long shot or a long hold is implied by the editor, which is abruptly cut off by a fast cut, which is made up of a shock shot and a reaction shot. The basic essence of a suspense genre is to increase the tension and at some point release it to reveal the story the audience was anticipating. By releasing the tension, one can also alter the audience's expectation.
last draft of the screenplay is the first cut of the movie, and the final cut of the movie is the last draft of the script.
Obviously, great directors give you great material to work with, but the ultimate film that you see is the edited version, and it's the editor is greatly responsible for that.